All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the meeting of November 9th, 2017. Very special meeting as we're going to honor our veterans today, and also in our early December meeting, just something that we've started last year. We enjoy doing, and we're going to hear a couple of great stories, I'm sure. But before we do that, Vin, would you take the roll call, please?
Sure. Deputy Mayor Chera.
Here.
Council Members Long.
Here.
Napolitani.
Here.
Shephaka.
Here.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Here, everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance, and then please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There's somebody coming. Somebody coming in? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. The notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 29th, 2016. We have, one second here. Before we get started with our ceremonies, we're going to go down the line and see the council. Do you have anything for us tonight, Mr. Napolitani?
Yes, I do. First of all, Mayor's Ball update, and that was the Mayor's Charity Ball. We raised close to $50,000 for the Mylan Terry Foundation and Community Hope Fund. It was very well attended. We're working on the next date for 2019 so that we can raise more money for these awesome charities. It was a very, very successful event and very well attended. I want to thank everybody who did attend, anybody who became a sponsor, people who purchased ads, bought the sponsorships. It was great. So really, really pleased with that. Next thing, we have an Internet Safety Protecting Our Children, which is for adults only, on December 6th at 7 o'clock, being hosted by Human Concerns and Social Justice Committee. It's going to be at St. Anselm's Church, 1028 Wayside Road in Tinton Falls. It's being presented by FBI agent John Robertson. Should be a very good event for the adults to attend. And I've been in touch with Timothy McMahon to do a program here called Hidden in Plain Sight. I have an update from him on that. We are going to work on a date. This was done in Oceanport, and I have to actually look at the text that he had sent me. It's an interactive awareness program for parents, caretakers, and educators and community members so that you can see the intricate dealings of a child's bedroom and see what to look for in adolescence with some issues that some of us parents may have with our children. It's an interactive bedroom, and Special Agent McMahon does this program, and I think it would be a great thing to do in the Township of Ocean, being that, you know, we deal with a lot of issues with kids that have problems in high school, younger kids, you know, basically with substance abuse, with depression, and other things like that. So I'll be working on getting a date on that. Okay? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Tommy, you have anything for us?
Yes. First off, we're having our Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th at 11 a.m. out in front of Town Hall. I know it's supposed to be cold. I have a tent coming, and it will have 3 sides to it so that to help make it less breezy and a little bit warmer. That'll be at 11 o'clock, and the VFW and the Catholic War Veterans are going to be there, and we have I forget exactly if we have a priest.
Oh, we may have clergy available.
Clergy, we'll have clergy there. And then also on Saturday on November 11th at noontime, on the meadow that is across from the museum, we want to plant wildflowers in it to attract pollinators. They want you to bring a long-handled rake, wear sunscreen, and dress for protection. In order to register, I have a phone number. You can call 908-337-1011. And this is being sponsored by the Environmental Commission and the Shade Tree Commission. and they're planting these wildflowers, and I think it's going to be very worthwhile, and they'll be very beautiful to see all summer, all spring and summer long, and then they'll help also with the bees.
Great. Thank you. Rich, anything for us?
I do, Mayor, tonight. I'd like to share with the audience here and the audience that will be viewing this meeting some of the information that I recently read about concerning the prisoners of war during World War II. And what I'm going to read to you is going to sound pretty shocking, I think, because some of you may not be aware of how our prisoners were treated. The Geneva Convention, for the most part, those agreements were upheld by the Germans when Allied prisoners were captured. 93,941 Americans were taken captive by the Germans. 92,820 survived the war. But of the 27,465 Americans held in prisoner of war camps by the Japanese, more than 11,000 died. Now, the Japanese were led by a person that was considered a deity in that country, Hirohito. He approved of the way the prisoners were treated. They had a special unit for the prisoners of war. It was called Unit 371. This group performed tests on human beings, our guys, in the name of research, amputating arms and legs without anesthetics, replacing blood with antifreeze, splitting a man's body down the middle from top to bottom and then pickling it in a 6-foot-tall glass jar of formaldehyde, and injecting the prisoners with diseases such as bubonic plague and cholera. It was through Unit 731 that many Japanese battlefield doctors prepared for war. The prisoners were shot with rifles or machine guns, and then the Japanese surgeons operated on their wounds without any anesthetic to rehearse emergency battlefield conditions. Thousands of non-Japanese Asian citizens and Allied prisoners of war were murdered as a result of Unit 731 procedures. And we have Veterans Day here on Saturday, but every day should be Veterans Day.
Thank
That's
you.
all I
Rich.
have.
Thank you, Rich. Well done. Rob, you have anything for us?
I have a couple things. Thank you, Mayor. Just a friendly reminder, Ocean Township is actually going to be recognized for our bronze certification during a Sustainable Jersey annual luncheon during the League of Municipalities event next week. We received our certification award and have the opportunity to get the award at the league. So congratulations to Ocean Township and all the folks that have done a great job to make that happen here in the town. We're proud of them, and we appreciate all your support for that. Very early notice for you folks that are really ahead of time here. The third annual community-wide garage sale will be taking place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Wait for it. June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Just hot off the presses. You can sign up online on our website. We moved it from May to June so that it'd be a little bit warmer, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. On a personal note, I just want to thank everybody that allowed me to run for Assembly this year. I want to congratulate Eric and Joanne for winning, along with our new Senator, Vin Gopal. Wishing them all the best in supporting the town and supporting the district. Look forward to working with you.
Thanks, Rob. Mike, anything for us?
I have no report.
Marty?
Well, I
echo what was said there by Rob in terms of the congratulations, and also Rob ran a great race. And also congratulations to Johnny Knapp,
I apologize, Johnny. Yes,
who
I'm sorry.
just totally overran this field. This individual named Ryden, he just destroyed Ryden, but congratulations.
Good, thank you. Yes, well done to everybody. And yeah, long, hard race, Rob. My hat's off to you for even committing to do that to serve us. We really appreciate you here as well. And congratulations again, Joanne and Eric. And our friend Jen Beck, who I'm going to miss. She was a good friend to Ocean Township, and she served us well as well. I'm sure Vin hopefully will do the same. Just two quick announcements. I did want to mention that there are two fire exits, one to my right, which will bring you out to the front of the building. One to my left will also bring you out to that parking lot. If you have a cell phone, please turn that off. You can keep it on for pictures, but turn the volume off would be good. If you have to make a call, just go out into the hallway. Two things I want to mention. We have our annual Christmas tree lighting. It'll be December 3rd this year, Sunday. We do it about 4:30 we start. And then once it gets dark, about 5:10, we light the tree. And then this year, a little something different. We're going to show Rudolph. We'll have a movie for the kids, 20 for 25 minutes. And then Santa will arrive on a fire truck about 5:30. Hot chocolate, there'll be a fire, all kinds of singing and caroling. Good time. We usually get about 150, 200 folks turn out for that. It's usually a great, great night. So we want to do that. Also want to mention that a big shout out to our two officers. One we had just sworn in at the last meeting, Officer Art Barnick. He was a real big, tall guy. First week on duty, they're riding around on patrol, and lo and behold, they see smoke coming out of a house. The quick actions of him and Officer Clune, they run in, are able to save a few people, alert them of the fire, and got them out of the house. So we have one of the best police departments in the state, and we got some of the best officers serving Ocean Township. We're really proud of them. We're going to honor them here on December 7th at that meeting. Going to give them a little something to recognize their valiant efforts. At this time, we're going to come down from the dais. We have some of our veterans here we'd like to acknowledge. We thank them for your service, and so we're all going to come down. We'll do that right now. Let me just take these two with me. That's loud. I do want to say before we start, I did invite a special guest. I don't think he made it here with us tonight. I thought it'd be nice. It was a World War II veteran also to help us introduce everybody, but I think he was overwhelmed with the media storm that he encountered, and it's our friend from Tinton Falls, Vito Pirelli. I think if anybody has heard about him, or 93-year-old man, went to a door-to-door campaign and became the mayor of Tinton Falls. Fantastic. Shows you the veterans, you just can't count them out, right? 93, he's still going. He was able to do that. So congratulations to Vito. Though you're not here, we'd like to give you a shout out here on TV. Two folks that couldn't be with us, Warren Cruz, World War II veteran, served from 1946 to 1947. Couldn't make us with us tonight. He was in the Air Force, lives in Ocean Township for 16 years. I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Cruz. Thank you for your service, sir. We really appreciate it. And also, a friend of mine, Sal Cascone, his wife Jane, died a few years back. She was a disabled American veteran. So we wanted to give a shout out to Jane, and also his dad, who fought in China and also in Africa. Okay. So, we're going to do that also. Hang on. We're going to ask our assembly people, Eric and Joanne Downey, to come up and join us also, because I think they have something for the veterans as well. Is that right? We welcome you again to our meeting. Thank you for joining us. These are our representatives from the 11th District, our assembly people. Let's welcome them, everybody. Thank them for being here. Okay. I'm going to call up the veterans one at a time. When we call you up here, we're going to ask that you stay up here with us, if you can, because we're going to take a group shot as well. So do we have Perry Joe Knows? Perry Joe? No? Not in the audience? For his honorable distinguished service, a member of the United States Army Single Corps during the Vietnam War. We'd like to recognize Perry Joe Knows for his service. Thank you so much for your service, sir. Louis Edward Ferrugiaro. Louis here? Come on up, Lou. Vietnam War vet also? Yes. Yeah, stand over here for a second if you don't mind. Come right over here. So, we want to thank you for your service. You want to tell us a little bit about your service?
I was attached to the 23rd Infantry Division, Vietnam, and I was severely wounded over there. And it's not much more to say.
Well, you served honorably, and see you had a lot of, the Vietnamese Service Medal, Purple Heart, and the Distinguished Service Medal. You're being very modest. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. So, we thank you for your service, sir. We really recognize what you've done. We'd like to present you with this certificate here in appreciation for you serving. And I think our Assembly people may have something for you as well.
So for you, thank you. Thanks, thank you. So we do have a commendation for you, and each one of the commendations that we have say the same thing from Eric and from me. It's from the State Assembly, because we do want to recognize our veterans have done so much for us, and we're so proud of each and every one of them. And we know that we can't actually know exactly how it feels to have been where they were or what they experienced, but we can at least thank them and honor them for all that they had done. So we really appreciate you, and this is our small way of just letting you know that. And each one of these commendations it says commendations and praise are extended to, and then to each person's name, by the citizenry of the 11th New Jersey Legislative District through their elected representatives as a man of character, determination, and enterprise, whose efforts have brought pride and distinction to his community and to his state. We celebrate his honorable and courageous service to the United States Armed Forces upon the occasion of Veteran Recognition Night for the Township of Ocean on Thursday, November 9th, 2017. And again, I want to thank you. And Eric?
I would just like to say, Mayor, I want to congratulate you for putting this together, and the council for doing another wonderful job, and you always recognizing all the great citizens you have in Ocean Township and our veterans. And Rich, I just want to say thank you for that. I mean, you know, I think when a veteran, when he signs up or somebody goes into the armed services, they really never know what to expect or what will happen to them. And, you know, Rich, you brought it really to light. It's a very dangerous job, and we appreciate all that they have done. And I just want to say thank you. And again, I want to say thank you to the mayor for all that you do here in Ocean Township and recognizing all the great citizens that you have.
Thank you, Eric. Our pleasure. We enjoyed doing it. Thank you again, sir. You mind staying up here on the end there? We can take a group shot afterward. Great. Thank you. You can go right on the end next to Mr. Hotelin. Yep. I don't know if he made it tonight. Michael Conti? Michael? Oh, good. Come on up, Michael. He's a retired lieutenant. Lieutenant Colonel. Oh, Lieutenant Colonel, excuse me, United States Army. And he had a great service medal here as well. Tell us about your service.
Well, I was in the Army 23 years. Went through ROTC, University of Toledo, and then spent 23 years in the Army, several deployments to Southwest Asia, and retired in 1998.
Any good stories about ROTC? Or?
No, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it all over again. I had a great career.
That's fantastic. So, the Meritorious Service Medal from the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, what's that about? It seems pretty cool.
That's it's an award I got upon retirement, and it's not bad.
Recognizing the service, you're gonna find a lot of these fellows and women, they're modest, and we really appreciate your modesty and your service to your country and to the town as well. So on behalf of that, on behalf of the mayor and council, please accept this certificate recognizing your service. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And from your assembly.
From our assembly. And again, it says the same thing as we just stated before, but thank you so much. We just appreciate, again, everything that you've done. Thank you.
Mr. Andrew Snorton? Andrew Snorton, come on up, sir. United States Army also, Vietnam War?
Yes.
Yes, tell us about your service.
I was a battery commander in the North Northern Division, the 3rd Infantry Division, and For about 3 years.
And what years were you in?
From 63 to 66.
Okay, so right when it was really heating up over there, right?
Yes.
I'll bet. Well, and so it says here also your honorable distinguished service as a member of the United States Army during the Vietnam War. We really thank you for your service. I really appreciate what you've done for your country and for your township. So on behalf of the mayor and council, we'd like to recognize you with this certificate. Thank you.
And thank you so much. We really appreciate it from the state of New Jersey. Thanks for all your service.
Great. And I'll make a note, we split this service up. We have this meeting and also December 7th will also be honoring veterans again. We have quite a few that have served honorably here in Ocean Township. We're very happy to do this, so keep them coming. Wayne Jackson? Mr. Jackson, come on up, sir. Another Vietnam veteran, right? Great. Good. So Wayne, tell us about your service as well.
I served in Vietnam for 10 months and 22 days in 1963. I was regular Army, which means I enlisted, so I asked for it. I recently had the privilege of attending one of the public schools down in Jackson Township where my granddaughter is a student and got to speak to about 10 of the classes about what it was like to be in the military, and that was a great pleasure for me. While I was in Vietnam, I flew with the 145th Aviation Battalion as a door gunner.
Wow. Pretty cool stuff. So you shared some of these stories with the classes, I'm sure?
Not those stories.
No, I'm sure. Anything memorable? Anything you want to share with us about that?
At the end of my 3 years of service, I was given the Good Conduct Award. That's memorable.
That's surviving it was also memorable. We really appreciate that. So, Vietnam War guy, ocean resident, your country, and we really thank you for your service as well. I think that's fantastic. Thank you for doing that. So, on behalf of the mayor and council, please accept this recognition. Thank you. We have some also.
Yes, and Wayne, this is for you from the state of New Jersey. Thank you from Eric and myself. Thank you for your service.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you. Arthur Shank. Arthur, come on up, Art. Junior, I should say, because there's a legacy in this family. Arthur not only served in the United States Army and Vietnam War, he's also one of our 50-year veterans of the fire department, Oakhurst Fire Department, right?
Yes.
And his dad, I think, is a 65-year veteran.
That's right. Yes, correct.
And he's working on the third and fourth generation are working on their 50 years.
Yeah, they're on their way.
So, Art, anything you want to tell us about your service?
Well, I was in the Navy. I think you said Army, but it's Navy, Naval Air. Started out in California, went to Naval Air Station, QB Point in the Philippines. Served time at Da Nang Air Base in Vietnam. Time on the aircraft carrier USS Oriskany. And then after active service, I was part of a helicopter squadron at Lakehurst Naval Air Station.
Great, then return back here. Hey, so you got a couple of medals here also. Another modest guy here. National Defense Service Medal. Very good. Vietnam Service Medal and Republic of Vietnam Civil Actions Unit Citation. Let's hear it from him. That's good stuff. And what was that one about?
It's just a unit citation, I guess, for serving.
For not giving anybody any trouble.
Right.
Real good, Art. Well, Art, we thank you again for your service to your community, in the fire department as well, but also for serving your country and your township. Really wonderful, and you're a great guy. And the Navy, of course. So on behalf of the mayor and council, please accept our proclamation here, certificate. And I think Joanne has something for you.
And Art, not only for your 50 years of service, past 50 years now, but I want to be able to give this to you also from the state of New Jersey. And thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job, Art. Good job, pal. Always. We can start lining up on this side too, guys, when you get done. We'll balance it out a little bit. Anthony Pusteri. Anthony Pusteri, are you here? Where? He's coming. All right. We're up here, sir. We'll wait for Mr. Pusteri to get up here. And he was a World War II veteran. Nice. Well, yeah, let's hear World War II. That's fantastic.
Wants to be mayor.
So come on over here. I'm listening.
You heard of the Maginot Line?
Yes. The Battle of the Bulge guy.
Right. And our bulldozer went on top of it and spread the mud on top of it, and the troops went over and the tanks went over it.
That was how you knocked it down.
Maginot Line.
Oh my
in
goodness.
France.
So Battle of the Bulge, Brown Star recipient. Tell us a little more. We got time.
I remember the Maginot Line. That stays out in my mind. But what really happened is the bulldozers went over it and covered it with mud, and then our tanks went over it.
And that got you through. How old were you when you went in?
I was drafted in 1943, and I spent 25 years in the service.
Wow. Okay. That's fantastic. Career, young man when you went in?
Yeah, 40. I was 40. No, I was 34. Yeah, probably 18 when I was there.
We're getting there. Wow, you look good though for your age. Going in at 34, awesome.
Better watch out, Chris.
No, you're not looking to make a run for mayor, are you?
No, I'm not running for nothing.
Good, because your part of town has seceded now. And that imaginary line doesn't exist anymore. Listen, Anthony, we want to thank you for your service. That's fantastic. World War II. We love having a World War II veterans up here. And I'm glad and I hope you come and join us tomorrow, or I'm sorry, Saturday when we have our ceremony at 11 o'clock. But on behalf of the mayor and council and what you've done in World War II, we want to present you with this certificate here and appreciate your service. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Joanne, you have something else? Well, I think we have something else.
Yes, Anthony, I have something from the state of New Jersey from Eric and I. I want to make sure that we tell you how much we appreciate what you did. And you know what's interesting? My husband's a history professor, and he went to the area where the Battle of the Bulge was.
Yeah.
And he brought back some sand, and he's going back with his class again this year in January. So maybe we'll get you some sand.
Mud.
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
He wants the mud.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. You're great. Did you line up over here next to Mr. Chara?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Dustin Rassiopi. Dustin, come on up. Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom, right?
Yes.
Okay. Dustin, tell us about your service.
I was in the Navy on the USS San Juan, which is a submarine based out of Groton, Connecticut. I was there from 2001 to 2006, and as that indicates, I was overseas when everything started with Iraq.
So let me start with the submarine. That's fascinating. So all the stories they say about it happens on a sub, is that true?
Probably.
Just kidding. You didn't do your laundry outside out the window there, right? You had
No. I had a tiny little washing machine, and you get it 20 minutes once a week.
So how long would you really submerge and go down and come up for?
I think I've told my friends and wife 52 days was the longest, and I don't know how accurate that is, but it was close to 2 months, yeah, without coming up above the waterline, yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic. I think that's amazing. Did you know that it would be like that, or they just flung it on you?
Yeah, it's a volunteer. You have to sign up for it, and then you have to go through some tests to make sure that you can handle it. And my my dark skin, I can handle it. Yeah.
Didn't see daylight for 52 days, right? That was fantastic. So Operation Iraqi Freedom, big one, and then Enduring Freedom also. So they were some time apart?
No, I think they were just considered the same thing, but they had two different names for them. I'm not sure what the distinction was, but that's what it says on the...
One was the beginning, one was the end, and the cleanup, basically, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen the end yet, but yeah.
No. Well, that too, absolutely. So we want to thank you for your service. I think it's great, the Navy, and for what you've done for your country. And also Ocean Township recognizes you with this certificate on behalf of the mayor and council. Thank you so much for your service, sir. Please accept that. Go ahead.
And thank you again, Dustin, from the state of New Jersey. Eric and I want to be able to give you this in recognition of all that you've done. And just, we really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I couldn't have been easy over there on the submarine, so thank you.
Oh, quite a guy. 52 days. If you can stand next. That's amazing. Should get a medal just for that, right? That's incredible. Mr. Davis, Terrence Davis, are you here? Come on up, sir. Welcome. We spoke on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Great.
How you doing, Mayor?
Mr. Davis, tell us about your service.
U.S. Navy wasn't much.
What years did you serve?
91 through 2012.
Okay. You did your time, that's for sure. So, again, he's being modest, another Navy guy. National Defense Service Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, and a Navy E ribbon. What's that?
Navy ships go out for what they call workups. And with the workups, you do different scenarios to get the Battle E, meaning that you're battle ready. So once you get your Battle E, then you go to different areas that we consider hot.
So you actually had to go into battle-ready mode, basically, and were there exercises and stuff included in that?
Yes. The longest exercise we did was 3 months, and I did 2 deployments.
Wow. What was the longest you ever sailed around?
The longest at sea did 3 months.
The 3 months? That's long enough. Yeah. Longer than Columbus, right? I think so. Well, yeah, you had better accommodations, maybe.
That's what they told us.
You believed them, but hey. But Terrence, we want to thank you again for your service to your country and to your township. I think it's fantastic, and on behalf of the mayor and council, please accept this certificate in recognition of your service. Thank you so much. And I believe we have something from our assembly.
I have to say, we will have one for you as well. For whatever reason, your name was not on our list, but we will make sure that we have one and we will bring it to the next meeting. Is that good? Can you be at the next meeting? Oh, good. Okay, we'll do that.
Make arrangement.
So thank you so much, though, for your service.
For anybody, if your name didn't get transmitted over to their office in time, we will have certificates for everybody. I don't know if he's here, but Augustino Gagliano. Mr. Gagliano? No, not with us, but we want to recognize Mr. Gagliano for his service. World War II also, member of the United States Navy, Coast Guard, also in the South Pacific Islands. Mr. Gagliano, in recognition of your service, the township, and your country, we thank you so much, sir. Mr. Gagliano, let's hear it for him. All right. Ralph Cabuti? Mr. Cabuti, come on up. Another World War II gentleman. Come on over here, sir. World War II, right?
Yeah, that's right, World War II.
What year did you go in?
Went in 1943 through 1946. I was there actually less than 3 years, about 9 days. But anyway, they rushed me over real fast.
I'm sure.
I was in the invasion of Cebu in the Philippines. I was also in Leyte in the Philippines, and I had a liberation ribbon from the liberation living of the Philippines, and a couple of other medals I can't recall. But I got the good reports. Everything was good. And thank God that I got back safely and without any injuries. And I think I'm doing great.
Well, that's fantastic. Holy cow, quite a career, 3 years and so many days. I mean, that was something that you were there, and like you said, that you came back.
I was in the States only 6 weeks before they sent me over.
They were quick to get you over. They must have saw something they liked.
I was supposed to go to a European war, and somebody ran out of the confinement area and made a call to his wife or mother or girlfriend saying that we're going overseas and we're going to England or something like that. So we were quarantined for a month on a train, individual company, just going back and forth with ODs on. And I ended up in the first 10 days in Bataan with ODs. And it was raining like crazy over there. And we were fighting or whatever we were doing in shorts and underwear shorts. And then from there we were shipped out to different places.
I think they must have thought you were very serious coming out in your shorts, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was something. Oh my gosh. So right away they took you over there, 6 weeks, and boom, you went overseas. Oh boy. Wow. That's an incredible service record that you have, sir. We want to recognize you for your service. Also, here's the Distinguished Service Medal and all that. And you said some others that you had acquired. They're not on here, but thank you on behalf of your country and your township. We really appreciate your service. And please accept this on our behalf. Let me shake your hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's wonderful. And I think we'll have something again. We're going to have something for you we'll bring to you.
Yes, we will definitely bring you one as well from the state of New Jersey because we are proud of you as well and want you to know how much we appreciate your service and what you've done for our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Mr. Ralph Caputi. Unreal. Yeah, right over here, sir. Do we have any more? That's it. Stay right here, sir. We're going to do our pictures. You don't have to go anywhere. All right. You guys want to tighten up the...
Move in.
We'll get some shots in. Art. Come in, sir. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to take a break. Come on over here. Sure.
I'm going to be 95.
95?
Coming up.
Oh, my gosh. That's fantastic. This guy's unbelievable. Yeah, can we come... Guys, you want to come in the front a little bit? Yeah, we can. You can get in front of us here. That's fine. Art, tighten it up a little bit. Our veterans, everybody, let's hear it for them. Made us proud. We're going to take a short recess and let the families gather their stuff up. Okay. Okay, we're back in session. I'll make my statement here. The purpose of this public portion is to solely ask questions and understand resolutions and vouchers that appear on the agenda is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. Does anybody have anything, questions about the agenda? Come on up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Yep. For resolutions and
all that good stuff, right?
Except for ordinance.
Well, I don't know. Okay. Anyway.
because I think the one is the
Your name, sir?
Elmer Fudd. No, Don Geiger, 1108 Grassmere Avenue. Let's start with, I'm just curious, or nosy, depending upon your point of view. Number 25, where our previous manager came in and did a deposition. Can you tell me what that was about, or is that top secret?
Marty, can you tell him?
Yeah, I think we have a litigation involving a police officer, and he was a fact witness, so that was the.
Okay, just curious. George. Also, 32 and 33, Bullet Lock and Safe Company. We have miscellaneous keys. Is that because keys were lost, because more keys need to be made, or can you give me a little information on that?
Locks were changed, and they made new keys for
Okay.
locks.
The old locks weren't any good, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up-
Okay. Just keep them on. Now, there's number 43, Logitech keyboards for $16,759.62. What the heck is that?
Replacement for police car equipment. They're ruggedized, heavy duty. A lot of them.
Okay. So those would be the keyboards we see now in police vehicles.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you know offhand how many we got for that type of money?
I can find out. I don't know offhand.
Okay. Hopefully
Quite
more
a
than
few.
one.
Quite a few.
Okay. And number 63, Clayton Block Company, etc. What exactly is a basin block for basin repairs? Well, that makes sense. A basin block for repairing a basin. Is it like the basin where stormwater goes in? Or
I'm going
do
to
you
guess
know?
it's for that.
I'm sorry.
What number did you say?
That is number 53.
Oh, you tricked everybody.
Did I?
Yeah, you had everybody looking at 63.
Well, I apologize.
Because that's you.
That's for repairs for retention basins.
Okay. Thank you. Moving right along, we have. Can you tell me anything about number 64, special session trial? Is that for the judge?
That's our prosecutor who had to come in for a special trial.
Well, we can make it easy. Just when they come in, say guilty, guilty, innocent, guilty, guilty. Okay, anyway. No, you don't. Anyway. Number 74, lunch event, Thursday, 11/2/17, for almost $2,200.
I'm sorry, what?
What number are you
Number
on? Sorry.
78, Falco's.
Yes, that's what our super senior luncheon.
Uh-huh,
which
that's what I
comes
guessed,
out of
but-
a fund that we have money in from a sponsor.
Okay.
So it
Just was
didn't
trying to
cost the town anything, but it came out of a special fund.
Okay. That's good.
Well worth it recognizing those folks.
No, I'm sure. I'm not arguing that. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, what was that? Now I know.
Hopefully, you'll join us one day.
God willing. I don't know what he has planned.
Okay.
I think I know. I check with him every day though.
Okay.
Fast signs is new emblems for township vehicles. Is that because they had old emblems? They didn't have any emblems. Number 79.
Mhm.
Fast signs.
Probably both of what you just said. Ones that didn't have them and ones that needed new ones.
Okay. Any guess as to how many?
$21.99's worth.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, $3,600 worth. That's
Yeah. Thank you.
That was the other item.
And then, moving right along, we have 87, freehold soil conservation, soil erosion and sediment control for the township for what?
And any time that there's a project that has to be done, we have to make application to freehold soil so
Okay.
they can go over anything.
Okay.
That's for multiple
Like-
projects. I can find out exactly what project it is.
Okay, but it's multiple projects. They're checking for erosion and
Yes.
all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Could be at the development that Toll Brothers is doing, that enclave thing, or elsewhere.
Well,
Anyway.
that would be on them.
That would be paid by the applicant.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice to know. And then we have number 95, more sign materials from Glencoe.
Mhm.
Do you have any more information?
Well, if you noticed, you see a lot of new street signs, and also you've seen a lot of signs even by the Historical Museum and throughout the town. The ones also up and down the highway as you enter Ocean Township. So we went on a big sign program this year to try to refreshen them all up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I could hire some people looking for work. With
We were waiting for your bid.
Big
didn't see
sandwich
it.
boards, you
Right.
know? Anyway.
Please throw your hat in the ring.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's coming, maybe.
Okay.
And I'm guessing, I think I know who they may be, but number 98, the Grand Balloons, as opposed to balloons, 2, and then it says CCC shows. Wow.
That was for Community Celebration Committee. It was at the Community Celebration Committee's Fall Fest. It was through Clean Communities, and they had I believe they had two shows up on. They had two shows up on stage with a clown, and stilt walker, and the shows were I think about a half hour apiece, 25 minutes apiece. And the stilt walker was there for about an hour, and he did some juggling, and it was geared toward children for recycling and stormwater and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, except for the stilt walking, I could have easily been the clown. You could put pie in my face and all that stuff. Anyway, actually, I missed one. I could probably guess what it is, but I'll clarify. Number 97, Gramco yearly maintenance. That says 2017. Would that mean we're paying them now for next year, or we're paying them for all this year?
We're paying them for this year for the sound system and everything in here. It's
Okay.
yearly maintenance contract.
Okay. But for work that's been done and may be done through the completion of this year.
Right.
Okay. And would you believe that's it for that page? Moving right along. And there's only one thing. And I'm pretty sure I know who probably went to it. I just for 169 New Jersey State Association Chiefs of Police mid-year conference meeting. Was that here, somewhere else? Did I just pay for registration?
That was an away game.
Away game. Okay. So I paid for registration, transportation, et al. Sort of. Yeah. Okay. And that's okay. And our chief went to, and I'm pretty sure this is again another conference reimbursement. It's 181. Is that the expenses including registration fees? It's 1480.67.
Yes.
Okay. And then 188. John L. I guess it's pronounced Reng, R-E-N-G. And is that a deduct reimbursable for medical expenses?
Motor vehicle claim.
Oh, okay. Okay, so something hit him? Okay. And then right underneath that, 189, CTA prep course for Jay Nieman. What exactly is a CTA prep course?
It's a certified tax assessor prep course for Jacob. He's our assistant tax clerk upstairs in the assessor's office.
Okay.
So
and
it's a training class.
It's a training class because he wasn't up to training, or he needed more training, or
no? They every year they have to get more
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know offhand 191 again to Rutgers coaches training packets offhand?
Probably recreation.
Oh, I know. Duh. But how many packets? 50, 100,
I'll find
20?
out.
Okay.
I'll find out.
And that's it for that page. I'm a little slack this time. Oh, yeah, we did, and believe me, Human Services is a valued organization. I'm not busting their chops. They did some advertising in the new coaster for $600. Was that just talking? That's 230.
They
advertised a program called Let's Talk.
Oh, yeah, I saw
I
that.
remember the ads that they took out. They're probably half-page ads,
Yeah.
more than one half-page ad.
Okay.
That-
Because I stopped by there asking some questions, and they were very helpful to me personally. And, wait a minute, is that it? I've run out of stuff? Shocking. Would you believe? That's all, folks.
Great. Thank you, Don. Anybody else on resolutions or vouchers, come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing or hearing no one, someone please offer the minutes for the workshop of October 24th, 2017.
I'll move those.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, and resolution 17-226 through 17-232, someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, tonight we have vouchers in the amount of $7,767,765.23. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes. Resolution 17-229, approve change order number 3 for the 2016 road improvement project due to a change in an as-built quantities resulting in no change in the total contract amount, just in the work they did. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, 17-230, part of our property maintenance program, authorize the tax collector to place a lien on the following properties to abate a public health nuisance. The following properties mentioned are block 216 lot 19 for $225, block 138 lot 50 for $88.25, block 3 lot 95 for $619.38, and block 13807 lot 12 for $459.50. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, and 17-231 is authorize a tax collector to issue a refund on the Own Ocean Tax Rebate Program credit in the amount of $35.61 to a former owner of Block 3, Lot 70. They sold their house, they had a refund coming because they used the card, and that program's working pretty well. In fact, $350,000 to retailers and about $35,000 returned to taxpayers so far. So someone please offer 17-231.
I'll offer that.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, 17-233, approve change order number 1 for the reconstruction of the Waden Activity Pool, increasing the total contract amount by $4,500. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
And this was for, they had to stabilize, once they excavated, they realized the ground, there's a lot of sandy soil over there, needed some more reinforcement, had to bring in some more fill. That's what that was about. 17-234, authorize the transfer of funds in accordance with NJSA 4058 and NJ 48 transfer. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes. 17-235, authorize the tax collector to cancel refund overpayments due to favorable state tax appeal judgments. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes. 17-236, authorize a contract with Fernandez Construction, Inc. for the interim roadway improvement program number 2 at a cost not to exceed $1,778,705. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, and this is for a lot of the road work that's we have to go in and redo due to the work done by the Sewerage Authority. Necessitated us to come in a little earlier than we wanted to, but we wanted to make sure we got these roads paved and curbed and whatnot. So pretty much that whole grid from Izell over to almost Park Boulevard and a few outlier roads are included in that program. 17-237, authorize the tax collector to issue refunds to various credits on Blue Acres purchased properties. Great program. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chair.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shepherd.
Yes.
And Mayor Sosiano.
Yes, and that was something brought in by Governor Christie's. We used it on several occasions. Actually, we had it on Brookside Avenue. We had about 14 buyouts there. And we also are presenting it now to Whale Pond Brook, and there's some interest in that one as well. It's a great program. Tonight we have ordinance number 2303 for introduction only. Ben, would you read the title, please?
An ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21, the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, rewriting Section 21-38B in its entirety from the C6 Community Mixed Use District to the C7 Community Mixed Use District.
Okay, someone please introduce ordinance number 2303.
I introduce ordinance number 2303.
Second.
I'll second that.
Deputy Mayor Chera. No. Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciliano.
Yes, now, I'm not sure if it's going to have its hearing back here on the 7th or not. It goes to the planning board next. They'll review it, then it'll come back for adoption or in discussion at that time. 12/7 maybe?
Correct.
Okay, so on 12/7, we'll have the hearing on this ordinance. Anybody have anything from the public? Now's the time to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Mr. Leffler, come on up.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Council. Yeah, Mayor, that Blue Acres.
Yeah, Brian, we know you, but for the record, could you just...
Okay, Brian Lefferson, Cliffwood Road, Oakhurst.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mayor. That Blue Acres was about a year, maybe more than a year ago. You bought houses on Brookside Avenue. I don't think you bought as many as what you said. I think they bought 5 houses over there.
We've closed on 5.
5.
So far.
My question to you is, when will those houses be removed?
I think we're waiting on just all the closings probably before we start demolition, because you don't want to do that while there's folks still over there. Probably
No,
another
but
year.
most of those houses are empty except for maybe one.
Yeah, I think once we have the last closing, Brian, then we'll get on with the demolition.
Okay, my other question is, I called up our manager, Michael, on October 31st, Halloween. You remember when I spoke to you? I'm asking you, Mayor, a lot of people in the town have not got the new newsletter.
Really?
I have not received it. I've talked to 40 or 50 people in the town that have not received it. I have a business associate of mine who lives on, I'm not going to give his address, all I can tell you is he lives in the 07712 zip code. He owns 2 houses on this street he lives on, and he called me because he wanted to know, because he's a concerned resident, and I said no, I didn't get one, so he gave me one. Okay. So my question to you is, why haven't the people received it? And the manager didn't get back to me.
I don't know. We're going to look into it. I'll say this: it might be something there with the distributing company, because we have excess amount this year at Town Hall. I asked Mr. Musillo to look into the mail-in receipts and see if they actually mailed it to 1-2.
We did. We've actually put multiple calls into the post office and haven't heard anything back yet.
Might have something to do with the
I have a lot of them here at Town Hall.
A lot of people, and most of the people in Oakhurst have not received it.
Really?
People in Deal Park have not received it. Some people in I don't know, maybe some of the council people can enlighten us. Have they received it?
I did. And I never receive anything.
I'm in 1-2. I did get mine.
People on Wayside did receive it, as far as I know. Mr. Long, you got yours, right? So
So
okay.
some sections didn't get it. Some routes. Okay, we'll look into it. It's,
I was just curious
we have a lot of them left. I'm wondering why. That's
I was
what
just
we-
curious that the election did anything to do with this.
took the words right out of my mouth. I
Or
was
that
gonna say
ballot
that.
question. Okay, my other question is, with that ballot question, which was passed, which I think is a good thing.
Yep.
I talked to Mr. Gallagher today, and he says that's going to bring in like $480,000 a year.
Yeah,
That's what he told me.
Right.
I'm just giving you a recommendation. You can take it because you're mayor and you have your 4 council people. I think as far as when you get that money coming in, this is what I would like to see as a lifelong resident of this town, a former zoning board member and a former planning board member, and involved with other things in the town. I would like to see you and the council maybe consider putting a committee together, people who would want to volunteer, a committee together to see how that money is spent, especially if you're going to spend it on the parks, et cetera, et cetera. Do you get my drift?
Sure.
And I would be willing to serve on that committee.
Okay, so we'll discuss that. I'm not opposed to that.
Do you understand what I mean? Well, where the residents would have more input, except for just for the 5 of you
An
people.
advisory committee.
And as an advisory committee, you know.
That's cool.
You know where I'm coming from.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Come on up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, let's give somebody else a chance.
007.
You almost, I think you went over the 2-minute rule.
007.
Who?
Mr. Geiger didn't know about the
10 minutes and 33 seconds.
All right, well, anyway.
Yes, you took my time.
Go ahead, Doc.
In keeping with your theme this evening, I just want to announce that Cedar Village ran a Veterans Recognition Program. We had over 90 people there.
Wow.
And we had about 60 veterans present, and we know that there are more than that in Cedar Village. And this will be an ongoing program, and every year will be run.
So what'd you do? Did you have?
We had a breakfast.
You had a breakfast for him?
We had a breakfast.
Fantastic.
We had a breakfast, a complete recognition.
You didn't invite us.
They didn't want to make it political.
Okay.
Honestly, that's what I was told. I was there that day. They
Why were you there?
I was knocking on doors. But
It's a
they
gated
didn't want-
community, sir. Anyway.
But they loved it. The people I talked to.
Yes,
said
they
it was
did.
great.
It really was nice, and there was some tears.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I just wanted to let you
That's
know.
fantastic, Doc. You guys never stop up there. You
No, we keep
active
going.
Adult community. and
We
you
got the
really-
Thanksgiving
That's
coming on now,
What do we
and
have?
adopt a family for Christmas, and toys for the children, and everything else. We're a 12-month-a-year program.
Yeah, you are. That's fantastic. Good to hear. Thanks for the report.
Thank you, Dr.
I should mention that I don't know if we met since our last meeting. We had our super senior luncheon earlier. And, well, I got to tell you, last year we had 51 attendants. This year we had 100. So it was well attended, and it's just great to see all those folks coming out. So
We'll
the
be
word's
there
getting
soon.
out. We'll be waiting for you.
Okay. I want to talk about the
Name
we are.
Barbara Hudson, Wayside. About the ordinance. Okay.
Yes.
Fenton couldn't be here tonight because he went to the sewer authority, but he read that summary and he said to me, "Well, that sets up the development, which is and that development is ready to go now." But I was wondering, I didn't read it. How many pages is it? Like 75 or something?
No,
the whole
about
thing,
20.
no?
About 20.
25?
No, yeah, I don't
Wow,
think
well, I
it's
didn't read it,
19
but
or
anyway, does it have the buffer?
It has right. It has a buffer. It doesn't have everything that the developer has in his plan, but it has what we put in a 75-foot buffer along Deal Road,
Right.
which is a gratuitous buffer. That's in there as well.
Okay. And are you considering a buffer in the library?
We have a buffer in there as well. 50 feet. I think that's a 50-footer. It wasn't the 75 like on Deal Road.
Now, the question I have is how many acres? You have 30 acres, right? And how many acres are going to be commercial and how many acres housing?
Great. So in this one, it's going to probably be, because they have 9 dedicated to Green Bank, so you're really dealing with about 10 and 10 commercial, but probably half, the front half's commercial, the back half's residential.
So out of 30 acres, you're talking 15, it will go back 15?
Yeah, it's really only about 20 developable acres, or maybe even 19 because of the road improvement.
Okay, so whatever it is, how much is going to be?
Half and half, about
half and half. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I was thinking this whole thing through, because this is a change from the change that happened in 2005 that was changed before. So you have a number of changes. Right?
Correct.
All right. So when you have this change, you are dealing with, you made a small shopping center rather than the mega shopping center. That was the last change. Right now you're changing that, right? The mega. And you had a smaller development. Was 30 acres? No, it was still 30 acres. And how was that divided with residential? They were the apartments on top of it? Or?
Well, the last change in 2005 was a hybrid of commercial residential for the entire 30. So there was apartments atop storefronts.
That was the
That was
residential.
what the old, right, and that's the one.
So that's gone.
That's gone. So now it's pretty much trying to make it congruent with the rest of the highway and rest of commercial in the front, residential in the back, and.
All right. So what I did was just kind of review what happened.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because Fenton remembered more than I did, but when Mr. Turner had where the library is now, he owned that property, and then he bought the corner, which gave you 70 acres, right? That was he had 40 acres and he bought the 30 acres. So that made the 70.
Right, it was 72.
Right. And then he passed on, and his two daughters inherited it and wanted to sell everything. So as Fenton remembered, former township member Kako,
Okay.
yeah, he went to the daughters. All right. And did the township want to buy all the acres, or do they only want to buy the 40?
No, I think at the time Mayor Weldon wanted to buy the entire parcel.
Entire thing. Okay.
But they would only sell them. It was divided up, lot 1901, 1902, 1903. It was 3 different parcels, actually.
Okay. So then it was actually, they sold it to Stop and Shop.
Mhm.
And then Stop
The
and
30
Shop.
acres and
Right.
42
Then they
we were-
sold it to the 40 acres to the township. Right.
Okay.
And they kept the 30
Yeah.
acres. And that was going to be a mega shopping.
Right.
And then, of course, everybody got very upset, and that's when you had the change that's now.
Correct.
So, so the township changed for Stop and Shop, allow that. That was a change then that happened for the big mega shop.
Right.
Now, so now my questions are, when Mr. Turner had it, how was it zoned?
So the front portion, I believe, lot 1901, it was always commercial. That was zoned back
How many
Probably-
acres? How many of that? Would you say?
13. I believe.
13 acres commercial.
Commercial,
Okay.
the front part.
And then the rest was going to be all
And
housing.
the rest was residential in the back.
Okay. So, and then, now that was the first time because the Henderson house had always been there, right?
Right.
First the Woolley, then the Henderson house. So
Right.
that evidently. So how was it zoned before that?
Well, in 1702, it was
No,
probably
not
residential. But my
1702.
point is, once the highway came in the late 50s, early 60s, we created a commercial zone then. And so anything along the highway, even if there was a house there, was in a commercial zone.
So how long did that go on? And that because the Henderson
That was back in the 60s. I don't remember. I was a young
So
young
the
boy.
Henderson house was exception.
Well,
In
it
other
was
words,
it was a
it was-
home within a commercial zone, just like
Could
other
they have
homes that are
sold
there.
it commercial? They could have sold their house.
Absolutely,
It was
sure.
all commercial. The Henderson house was what was called, pre-existing non-conforming use. It was a house that was there. They were allowed to maintain that house, but the zone itself, and I don't know because I haven't looked at what the what the ordinance was in 1965, but the ordinance had front part commercial, like according to the mayor, 13 acres, and the back part was residential. And when it was changed as a result of Stop and Shop, that's when the change took place that made it the overlay zone. It remained the front commercial, the back residential, but then there was an overlay zone to, in essence, allow the development of Stop and Shop, which then got reversed a second time with the new overlay zone, which is what
Now you change it.
which is what existed. But I believe, I'm not sure if it's an overlay zone or if it was.
What does that
total
mean,
zone.
overlay zone?
Well, it means that you can have a zoning that is still the, commercial in front and the residential in back, but then there's a conditional overlay zone. If you meet certain requirements, then you could build a different use, and which was the use that
Either
Stop
or.
and Shop in theory wanted, and then the use it was changed to.
Okay. So it went. So now we're back to actually
1965.
Or whatever year that was.
So and then you said how many acres can they come back? 13 acres, and then the
Yeah,
rest
I
will be-
mean, it's
Give or take. We can't.
give or
be
take because there's road improvements and whatnot. But yes, essentially half and half.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Hold on. Ladies first.
Heather McKnight, 1137 Interlaken Avenue. In reference to Ordinance 2302, your certified letter came the day after the meeting. I just want to talk to the engineer. I have pictures on my sidewalk. I'd just like to talk to somebody.
I'll give you the number after the meeting.
Thank
You know you're not responsible for the curbs, right?
She probably didn't know that.
Not according to this.
Yeah,
it's
you're getting a new letter.
$1,500.
You're not responsible for curbs any longer in that district there.
All right, but I'm still interested in the
The
sidewalk.
sidewalk? Okay, yeah, sidewalk, you meet
Because
with them and,
of the tree. I want to know.
oh, right. Yeah,
If you're taking out the tree.
absolutely.
Because there's no sense in taking, this is for half of my sidewalk. There's no sense in taking out half of the sidewalk and not taking, I mean, the tree's like
Enormous, yeah. Okay.
as big as a bus. So,
Oh, okay. We'll
I
make
just-
sure he gets over there and takes a look and
thank you.
you're welcome. Anybody else that hasn't gone yet? Please come up to the microphone. We've got a couple of folks that haven't been up yet, Brian.
I wouldn't hold your breath now.
Yeah,
Jackie Wenzel, Deal Road. First, I want to say thank you to the mayor for having the referendum on the ballot because it was very exciting to see the open space tax go through.
We all voted on it. It was a group effort.
Yeah, so thank you to everybody.
Okay.
We feel a little bit like some of the same, compassion is there for the open space. I'm seeing this big booklet here right now for the first time, and I need to read through it. But is this all going through as written, or is this written as a proposal that is going to require more meetings?
Just to understand, this is a proposed zoning ordinance that is presented by the council. It goes to the planning board. The planning board reviews the proposed zoning. They give their comments as to what changes or if they think it's okay or what should, if anything, be done. It then comes back to the council. At that point, the council has a public meeting, and at the public meeting, it will hear from the public as to their position on various items and then determine whether or not they're passing it as is, making changes, or whatever they're doing on the ordinance.
So I would like to request, because this is really, it has a lot here, and as I heard Barbara Hudson say, it's really setting up the development, which of course I'd like to lie down and prevent and not let the bulldozers knock down the trees. But what I did bring up to the mayor, I guess at the last meeting, is since I've been attending the Environmental Commission meetings and the Shade Tree Commission, it does definitely seem like there's a disconnect. There's a lot of passion going on there, and yet they're not communicating here. And I've been doing my own investigation. Also, Peter has done something about urban forest planning. And what we wanted to do was trying to organize a public meeting that you would all be invited to, perhaps at the high school, as the developers had their opportunity to present their jazzy plan, that we perhaps would have an opportunity to just look at other alternatives that are more eco-friendly, because we are an urban development now. We have gone below the tree canopy that classifies us as suburban, so we're truly urban now, and that's with 32 acres of mature trees. And it's not about planting new trees; it's about the canopy of mature trees. So on the environment, and especially since Rutgers had done that study, I did find out, Mayor, that the study was requested by the Shade Tree Commission. It wasn't that they just, there was an alarm that went off, that they noticed it. We had requested them to do that. So anyway, I would like to know, is it possible before this gets approved, or that the planning board gets to attend the environmental meeting before anyone makes a decision, to really hear a more collective, something outside this group and just our little town, a more collective group of people from New Jersey that have been doing a lot of studies on the environment before we determine what the best usage is for that corner? Is that possible?
Well, here's what happens. I mean, you can do that. I don't know how it's going to play in with what we're doing here. Again, this goes to the planning board, and they determine if it's in line with the master plan. So,
I know, but
many iterations of development. I understand that, and I think your biggest weapon is going to be at the planning board when it comes to any application. All we're really doing here is, like I said, we're setting it back to something that's going to be litigant-proof, hopefully. That it's commercial, it's residential. It meets a lot of the requirements, and it matches a lot of what we have in town elsewhere. Costco got a gas station, so this can accommodate that big of a gas station. This has the townhomes. It can accommodate this many townhomes.
Does Poplar Brook go through Costco?
No, another brook feeds in. It's a headway to Deal Lake, actually, in the back there.
Does that go into the ocean?
Yeah, it's a watershed to Deal Lake. Starts up in the Sand Hills, we call it. We're back in there. So, again, those are all questions for at the planning board for the engineer, and they have their safety nets in there. I hear what you're saying.
I just feel like education gives people more 20/20 vision, and I feel like I know I'm getting an education just because of my interest and my attending these meetings, and I feel like it will help the planning board make a more well-informed decision, because everybody's busy. They volunteer to be on the planning board, I suspect.
But Jackie, again, we have professionals up there. We have engineers, we have planners, and we have attorneys. And these folks, they get around the state and they're very involved in, stormwater management is one of Mr. Fitzgerald's biggest things that he does is stormwater management. So they're very familiar with the aspects of that and, what shouldn't be done, what can be done, things like that. To call a meeting and say we want to have environmentalists in to change the look of an application that's pending or even an ordinance proposed change.
Mhm.
You're welcome to set that up yourself and get a use permit at the gymnasium. We can be invited as guests, but it's not something the town can organize. It could be almost considered. I think we might be sued. Is that right, Mr. Warbus?
For what?
We're involved. Whether we might be sued, we are currently involved in litigation regarding this site, and that litigation is still pending. So I don't want to say what could or might happen. But
we shouldn't be
certainly
doing.
you have the right to have that meeting and to get people together.
Could we use the high school?
You don't control the high school. You'd have to talk to the high school. You don't
I
have
see.
control over that.
Okay. Well, was it in the? I mean, I guess with the planning board, when you speak, and in all due respect, when you speak about the master plan, was it in the master plan that the township of Ocean was headed and purposefully headed towards being an urban community versus a suburban community? Was that in the master plan?
Well, I mean, I would imagine no, because I mean, I haven't looked at the master plan to make that the determination, but I would guess probably not.
So it's a new circumstance.
Again, I mean, I know looking at Ocean Township, do I consider it an urban community? No, I don't. Does some commission that deals with certain issues may contend it's an urban community? Maybe it does.
Well, it's a percentage of tree canopy, so we've gone below that, which is why we had a bronze star, but we can't seem to get, I guess,
Well,
a
that's way
silver.
above my pay grade, but the bronze star, I mean, I don't know what that means if we got a bronze star. Not first place, but not bad. I don't know what all that means.
Jackie, I will tell you the Environmental Commission does report to the, I'm on the planning board, so the Environmental Commission will probably look at this ordinance and provide the planning board with a report based on their recommendations to us.
Because I just as a resident and a citizen of the community, I just feel like when I come in and I see all this, I haven't had any time to really read it, and I'm not.
But you're not required to.
Right.
So you have
2 weeks.
Tomorrow night. Saturday.
Do we have another meeting before it gets?
Well, hold on. So just to be clear, so it's going to be presented at the planning board probably, and I don't know that this is true, the next planning board meeting is November 27th. So that's when you'd have the opportunity to come to the planning board meeting and have ask those people or us those questions that you have. That makes sense? So
but then will it be everybody sits up there and goes, I approve, I approve, I approve?
Well,
like,
it'll come
planning
back
board
here.
going to do that, or is it going to be that fast?
Like Marty had said, it'll come back here for its hearing, and where we open the floor up for discussion, and then we'll hear from the public at that time, and then depends on what kind of dialogue we have, whether we approve, disapprove, make change, amend, etc. That'll be here December 7th.
So you have two.
You'll be able to come in here and bring any suggestions, recommendations that you have.
But if we would like to have a meeting where the planning board would attend, or some of the key members of the planning board would attend, an environmental meeting to help
You'd have
just
to invite
refresh
them.
the tree canopy and everything
You'd
that
have to
should
do that
go into
independently,
consideration.
Jackie.
No, but would they attend?
Here's the problem.
I don't know.
You have to do it independently, and the problem becomes when the entire planning board attends or the entire council.
You violate the sunshine
Then
law.
you have sunshine law issues where you have to have proper notice. It's very confusing.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, you can't have a meeting among the council members if there's more than two, unless you do a public notice under the sunshine laws.
I usually just do it with one just to make sure we're safe.
You can't just attend as
Well,
civilians?
To be honest with you, what you're saying, are you inviting them and people attend? I mean, obviously, members of the council may independently attend meetings, no question about it. If the question becomes whether it becomes like an official meeting of the council.
Jackie,
You're having your meeting.
You could do whatever you'd like as an individual citizen. If I may make one recommendation, I would have your meeting with the Environmental Commission, who then reports to the planning board, and have them provide us with that report.
I know, but it becomes, we speak more about the minutes from the previous meeting than we get into it. It's not really, it's obviously not being effective, because this is probably going to go through just as it is, because it's a very small group that decides this. And we have this idea, there's a public portion to the meeting, and we're here, and there have been things that have been listened to and heard, and I'm, like I said, I started my talk here to say thank you for the open space tax, but one of the most important properties right now that's in danger really could, if a portion of our money now could go to buying a portion of that land, it would minimize the usage. And the gas station is something I really think is a danger there. I don't want to see a gas station there. It's not needed. And there are plenty of gas stations and, Chick-fil-A, all of that. There's also a study that my husband did that Chick-fil-A apparently does create a lot of traffic. There are people that like to eat Chick-fil-A, so it's caused some trouble in some suburban areas. If you Google it, you'll see the article. So anyway, I would, I guess because the big house on Whale Pond, which everybody on Ocean Cares complains about now, then other people say, well, why don't you show up at the meetings at the time when it was being decided? Never went through the planning board, right? Because that was a zoning decision.
Well, that was two different boards. There's the planning board and there's the zoning board. Typically, an individual house that's seeking a variance or variances go before the zoning board of adjustment. Typically, major developments where you're going for site plan approval or subdivision approval go before the planning board. So there are two separate boards, but they both require a public notice. Notice goes out to the public, notice gets published. They're operated, they both have council, they both have various members on the boards. So there were public meetings related to that home on Whale Pond Road as well.
Was that house approved by the planning board? I was
No,
told
no.
no.
By the zoning
Zoning board. That
Because-
didn't come to council or planning board. The zoning board's non-permitted use, planning board's for permitted use. That's the two
Well, I mean, there's
differences.
two things. The zoning board's for non-permitted use, but even permitted uses for a single home like that is, would go, even though it's a very big single-family home, would go before the zoning board of adjustment. That doesn't go before the planning board. Two boards, public notice, all neighbors within 200 feet got notice. Notice was published the same way. When the approval was granted, that approval was published. All of that happened.
But
I believe. I haven't really looked
No,
at it.
I was told that it was zoned as an expansion on an existing house, which is ridiculous. Really, it's clearly not that. And now it's made of cement. And I'm not an arsonist. I'm not going to burn it down, but it can't even be burnt down. It's
Thank-
like
thank
there for
goodness.
good. It's there for good. So I guess on the master plan, since we're talking about land usage, and since I live around Joe Play Park, is it going to be now, is that a standard for the size home that can be built around Joe Play Park? Is that the new, will that be in the master plan?
No, there's a lot coverage and there's a lot of other factors involved, height, lot coverage, things like that. And he put together so many pieces of property that he met the lot coverage. I think the zoning board really, everything complied. I mean, it's very big, but it's not like they said, let's just let him do it. The guy had 4 or 5 lots, so.
Well, I got, I know there have been some complaints about my sandwich board sign on Deal Road being a little too big.
You said after the election.
I know, but that's a whole lot more of an eyesore than my sign. It really is. And you know what, my sign has...
In the eye of the beholder. I'm sure the person who built it thinks it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure other
But it's
people-
not on the master plan for size.
It doesn't have to be in the master plan for size. The master plan simply would say residential development. It wouldn't say residential development and you can't have a house of more than 3,000, 4,000,
Right,
6,000,
right.
8,000, 22,000 square feet. It just says residential. That's what the master plan says. So the building of that house may not be to your liking and other people.
Many people.
Many people. But the guy who lives there probably likes it, or is going to live there probably likes it, and he has the right to build it subject to his getting an approval from the Board of Adjustment. And he got the approval.
But I'm told it's probably not going to be a house because of the size, and people say it's going to be a temple. Is that true?
I'm told a whole bunch of things that haven't been.
Listen, we're counting on the $131,000 tax revenue a year from it, so it'll be that.
Well, you'll have
It'll
that
be
if it's a temple. Do
It's
we
not
get
gonna
that
be a
same?
temple. They didn't come in for that approval. They just can't go in here and set up shop as a temple when there's one 500 yards away
Okay.
that the person that's building it, his brother's the president of. I don't know if he's trying to
It's
compete
just
with
rumor.
him. Right. There's a lot of rumor out there, but
Right.
I mean, you think logically about it. Why would he do that? Compete against his own brother?
No, I don't know.
For
I don't know them. I
You know what?
just.
Supposing, and I heard
Well,
really. You could
I'm just
say
asking
it.
you. I figured you would know.
Do I look like I know a lot? I don't know. But the bottom line here is that he built this huge house that you're not happy with, like you said, others aren't. He loves it. I'm sure other people do like it. It's in the eye of the beholder. But what he built was approved by the Board of Adjustment, and it's zoned for residential, and that's what he built.
And is there a limit to how long construction can be a construction site?
I don't believe so.
Well,
Unless there's nothing going on.
Well, they have to. Right. They have to be continually working. You can't have a lapse of 6 months.
All right, that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, hold it. Wait, Barbara, before you get up, he goes ahead of you because.
Did Barb go already?
Anybody?
No negotiation.
Yeah, she can cut her own deal. That's fine.
I think Jackie
I want
is.
$5 for a minute.
Okay. I think Jackie is asking for a public meeting
Mhm.
to inform people. Now, I don't find that inconsistent with what you did for the developers. You did not commit yourself to the developers, but you arranged a meeting. So, I mean, we're residents.
Right. We're having one. We're having
for
one now.
us,
We're
for
having a
us.
public meeting right now. You're here.
Well, for the township, all right, for the township. And now we have passed the open space thing, so it would seem at least people can express whether they might want that money, whether you, because it's not binding, all right, you're going to
No,
decide
no,
yourself, whether they have an
It passed.
option.
We're going to implement it.
Yeah, but that's a great amount of money.
I should ask
and we
somebody
could buy that property. So, you know, well, we could buy. I mean, you may not choose to buy, all right? But
We'll
it
vote from
is
here.
it is no more inconsistent than you having this meeting for the developers.
We didn't have the meeting for the developers. The
Well, you had it-
we had it for the
Excuse me,
public.
Excuse me, the developers had a meeting, and
You arranged
the mayor helped and put it on his Facebook page, and I'm sure if somebody wanted to have a meeting, he could probably put that on.
I would do the same for you then.
But the bottom line here is that notice went to the public about that meeting, and not a whole lot of people showed up. So they had
They
an
did-
opportunity to
well,
listen to the developers.
That's questionable because they didn't really know about it. I mean, people in that neighborhood didn't know.
But I'm saying, we listen, Mrs. Hudson.
But
That's something that's on you. I tried just to get as much info. We've been as transparent as possible since we've taken over.
I know, but to be fair,
I don't know how much more
developers
fair
have
we
a
can
voice,
be.
and the residents have a voice.
Absolutely, and
Right?
we've given
So,
you.
I mean,
We
why
try to
not
give you
arrange
the voice.
the meeting of? It's a public meeting. You know, you're not going to commit yourself one way or the other, right?
Absolutely.
No. So, but you would help us residents come to know more and have it at least express a choice because you do have the decision. All right?
But
So
again-
we can express what we want. You're going to make the decision. That's the way it goes. But we ought to have opportunities to suggest to you.
November 27th, this room, 7 p.m. Public notice, just made it. That's the planning board. You're welcome to come to the planning board.
I've been to lots of planning boards. Oops, excuse me. I've been to lots of planning board. People are fighting, or not fighting, but really trying to argue with experts who always have the answers. We have retention ponds. You know, the water doesn't go down to pollute the ocean or pollute. You're going to have a wonderful retention pond. They don't talk about the wild ducks that we have now.
No, Mr. Geiger's watching his watch because he said
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
take a
I'm
minute.
sorry.
Right? Is that why you're looking at your watch, Mr. Geiger?
$2.75.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. I appreciate your comments. Anybody else?
Mr. Geiger wants.
Mr. Geiger, you have.
Dying.
Did you, Brian? Did you get a chance yet?
Yeah, Brian was up. We'll go Geiger. We'll go Brian. How
Let
about
Mr. Geiger go.
Okay.
I already wrote his name down.
Okay.
Well, since you wrote my name down, I won't have to say it, right? No, I'll say it just for the camera. I'll pose. Don Geiger. I still live at 1108 Crestmere. Just all I want to say about that ordinance. I read through part of it.
Okay.
And then
Folks in the back, I'm sorry, and I never like to cut anybody off, but you're getting picked up on the. Okay. Thank you.
Let me
Go ahead.
start all over.
Go ahead, Mr. Geiger.
I'm still Don Geiger, and I still live at 1108 Crestmere.
Okay.
And reading through the ordinance, I stopped after page, I don't know, but I saw something that, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I know there's tax revenue from the commercial developments and also from the residential buildings that may be put up. However, I saw something. It's going to, I think it says something about the streetscape, this commercial stuff. Do we really, I agree. Do we really, how much does it improve the streetscape seeing another gas station when there's already, well, I don't know what they're doing at the St. John station. They're digging it up, doing something there. But you have the Shell, you have the Sunoco, and all the stuff. They're in the township. I'm not sure what else is.
Mm-hmm.
Or another convenience store. Or whatever else decides to go in there. I'm sorry. For me, I've had it up to here with the strip malls.
Right.
Just,
Mr. Geiger.
I'd like to see the money go to the township. I really would.
No, well, here's the thing. We're not driven by the revenue. It's vacant land. We're doing fine as it's vacant. We can't control, I can't tell the guy how to spend his $10 million. If those items, if that's allowed use there,
But
it's like
plan.
saying, look, we already have a pizzeria. We don't want another one. You can't, unfortunately, we can't do that.
I know. Go to the planning board meeting and say.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, listen, my idea of what should be there, Rob's or anybody else's, we probably have 5 different opinions, I'm sure, but it's not our 10 million. We're not the ones spending the money to decide what should go there.
Not to interrupt, but that's also why the mayor arranged for buffers, you know, that's in the ordinance along Deal Road and along, I guess, Route 35 and
Right.
for the library,
Right.
to create, you know, some buffering, so you don't see, you know, nonstop, you know, commercial. Plus, this is not a strip mall.
Mhm.
This is individual stores.
Pads,
as
right.
opposed to what would normally.
Yeah.
What's still in there are limited to size, so there can't be any big boxes, nothing
Right.
over X
I mean,
amount
I
of feet.
got through
But,
some of that.
You know, I just want to give you guys an idea what a 75-foot buffer is. It's almost a forest. I mean, if you think about it, the street's only 40 feet wide, Deal Road. So this is almost double that. If you look what's behind the Little League field on 35, from 35 to the Little League field, you know,
Okay.
you can't see the Little League field because that's a 75-foot buffer there.
Okay. Anyway, just for that's worth. Now let me move on to our beautiful neighbor, BJ's.
Yes.
Because still the one they patched West
Yeah.
Park.
They haven't been back. Mr. Michello, any further communications from them?
No, they've been completely. Sorry, they've been completely unresponsive, and we have to go after them again.
Okay, I'd appreciate that
Mhm.
because that needs tending to.
Yep.
And I think, well, I'm not an expert. It probably could do a repaving because by their
That gets repaved with the state highway repaving.
even though it's
that
past the
circuit,
curb
no?
line.
Okay, I'm wrong. Never mind. I didn't check with the others.
Yeah, I
Again,
thought that would be someone else's responsibility.
It
not the
is.
state's.
Did you see the triangle going in from West Park? How clean it is? You didn't see that.
I'll tell you, sometimes we don't see things that should be obvious.
Have to see that.
The triangle is very nice.
It's a great statement.
However, I'm more things of my tires and my
know,
Yeah.
alignment
but-
and shock
Can I ask you a
absorbers.
question? Have
It
you
looks
gone into
nice.
BJ's and complained to BJ's?
Yes.
Okay.
And they keep saying, "Oh, it's not our problem because it's not." You know, they go back and forth.
Yeah.
As much I've talked to 2 assistant managers and 1 overall manager, and gotten the usual doublespeak.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We will send them a certified letter.
And speaking of that, I'd like to thank the engineer. He did come out. He said he was there, but no one answered. Well, I don't hear him. I'm not sure our front doorbell works anymore because we got thing up because my wife can't get up the stairs,
Right.
and I usually don't go up except to get the mail. Bottom line is, he came out. Yeah, this is what we planned, and yes, I can talk to the guy, get a cost for doing some other work that probably needs to be
Right.
done. So I'd like to thank him for that.
Right.
And he's a good guy.
And your curbs won't be, you won't be charged for your curbs either.
I won't.
No.
Oh, yay! All right. And last but not
Just
least,
the curbs, not the sidewalk still in there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
realize what you're saying. Just the curb.
Yeah.
The curb. And I want to say, give another shout out, as usual, to Mary and Nancy in Public Works.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lefferson?
Mike?
Yeah, Mayor, going back to when that the original development on that corner was proposed with the Stop and Shop and everything. Actually, the people and they had a promotional company. They actually took me out to lunch 2 times. We met at Main Street on the highway because they wanted me to go out in the town and to promote that development because there was a lot of people in the town that wanted a food store on this side of the highway because the Acme on Roosevelt Avenue closed. And, I was born and raised across the street from where the original Acme was built. When I first was born, there was houses there. I grew up where the sewer plant is. And my parents sold that house and they built the sewer plant. And where I live now, I've been in my house now since 1960. But they actually took me out. But one thing I wanted to say to you is, you say you're going to put a 75-foot buffer along it. When they come in, if this thing is approved and they come in there, that corner's going to look like the corner of Green Grove Road and West Park Avenue. Everything's going to be gone in there. When they come in and clear that property,
Right.
it's going to look like that.
Yep.
Then they're going to come in and excavate the dirt, and until they put the utilities in, the sewers in,
That's how they build
et cetera, et cetera. So if you're going to make these people put a buffer in, they better be doing some big time landscaping.
Yeah, Brian, they're going to supplant in there, build a berm. What's in there now, you've been here all your life and you understand. If you walk that property, there's some nice specimens in there, but there's a lot of scruff pine with the vines wrapped around them, which are choking out a lot of the trees. So, I think their plantings will probably be better than what they can save there. What I'd like to see them save on the circle, of course, is a big oak.
Well, I actually knew the Turners. I actually did some work for the Turners. My landscaping company did. And years ago, they used to grow orchids in the back years ago. That property goes back a long ways. And when Emil Turner died, his daughter sold it because they wanted to liquidate the property. But if it hadn't been for Mr. Weldon, really,
right,
he was the one that pushed for a new library.
He did.
Originally, he wanted to put it on West Park Avenue, where that monstrosity is now, over there, the tennis court thing. He wanted to put it over there. But I can tell you one thing with the property that people are here questioning about. Mr. Weldon and Jerry Zarrow negotiated that deal to sell that property to that developer.
Okay.
And I know that for a fact.
But he saved the 42, and we have a beautiful state
So
of
if you want to call Jerry Zarrow up, he's a good friend of mine. You go ahead and ask him.
He's your friend, you call him.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you.
No, I don't.
Mr. Weldon.
I don't dispute any of that. That's not even a question here.
So what I'm telling you is,
I don't even know if that's relevant.
when that property was, instead of the town maybe trying to buy more of that property,
Right.
Mr. Weldon and Jerry Zarrow was his buddy, gave him thousands and thousands of dollars. I ran against Mr. Weldon 2 times.
Okay.
I got $100. He gave Mr. Weldon $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000.
He liked them.
So yeah,
Okay.
well, who knows? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. One more 2-minute question. Come on up to me.
Hi. Just getting back to the buffer. I would really like to see, if we're going to do a buffer, not to have it knocked down. Like if there's going to be a buffer and we're going to buy it maybe as a township with our green acres, they should just respect those mature trees and leave them.
They're going to do a buffer. We don't have to buy that. That's going to be into that 75-foot buffer.
I know, but
if you want
it's the
to
mature canopy we need.
Listen, you're welcome to walk the property.
Yeah.
If you think that there's enough buffers without bones, stuff showing through, I think the planting in the berm will do us a lot better of a buffering than what's there. My opinion, but I'm open to walk it with you and tag each tree you think's worth saving.
Okay.
We can make that recommendation.
That's good.
They'll do it, but we'll
No,
make
because they say the mature trees are what really sheds the water.
Absolutely.
New plantings, it's going to take 30 years
Absolutely.
to shed
I
water.
get it. Right.
Okay.
You're right, Jackie. Thank you. Anybody else? Well, I want to thank you all for coming. Somebody please make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Deputy Mayor Chera.
Yes.
Council members Long.
Yes.
Napolitani.
Yes.
Shephaka.
Yes.
And Mayor Siciano.
Yes, thank you all for coming. Meeting adjourned. We air twice a day, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. at Channel 22 if you have files, and 77 if you have Cablevision. Good evening, everybody.